Frampton. He's got a lot to show. He was chosen over Elliot Himmelberg for this game. It was something of a surprise. He has the number 2 overall pick in the draft. He's just kicked 4 in the game before. He's got a lot to play for, and he looked terrific in that first quarter. Managed to kick a couple. I think he was the standout. And
I thought these two fellas, the ruckman, both had a fair bit of it and worked pretty hard, I reckon. So Lysette gets the advantage this time round. Willem Drew, we've already mentioned, so good to see him out there. Wobbles a kick to half forward. Zach Butter's got the handball away. Port Adelaide go into attack through Boak and out on a lead. And the good mark has been taken.
Georgiades.
It is Georgiades. Gee, I'd love to see this fella play a bit. The little glimpses we got last year were very exciting. How does he work his way into this forward line? Very strong forward line for Port Adelaide. I just wonder if he's in the mix. Is he in the first 6 that'll play across half forward and full forward?
I don't think there's anyone in the AFL watching, listening or thinking about football that wouldn't want him to be in the mix. He's so much fun.
Yep. So Georgiades, probably 35 metres out when he kicks this. Nice looking kick on its way, although the goal umpire's made a bit of ground and it's through for the minor score. So Port Adelaide 5-7-37, Adelaide 4-1-25 here at the Alberton Oval, thanks to Balfours.
Just inside the first minute here in the second quarter. Luke Brown, Brodie Smith combined, coming out of defence now. Up towards the wing. Walker had some moments in that first quarter. He's got Alear on him here. Alear read it better, and Hamish Hartlett read it best of all over the back. Gets it to the All-Australian and Burn Jones. Now to Wines. Alear's run on, created an option. He's got to contend with Riley O'Brien now at centre wing. Just pushes him out the way and wins the football. Gets it to O'Brien's opposite number in Lysett. Shuffles the ball backwards, and Burn Jones will check side it cleverly up the wing towards Boak. Hartlett's run on. These blokes have all been involved in about 3 or 4 moments in this passage of play. It ends up with Marshall, who it was spoiled away from him. Young Nick Murray involved. He might be added to the Crows list. That's the expectation. The Williamstown product, not yet on the list, so he's got a lot to play for today, so the Crows come away with it.
Well, they've given him some responsibility, putting him in the main game, haven't they? Which is fantastic. So the Crows now working away through centre wing. Miller ran into trouble, but again, great to see him playing out there. How handy he'll be for Adelaide this season. It comes back to O'Brien, who's having a good game. Kicks to half forward. No mark taken. Lynch, one of the smartest players in this outfit. He really is, but he doesn't come away with it this time. And now Burn Jones mops it up for Port Adelaide, as he's done so many times before. The kick across halfback, not great. Put Fantasia right under the pump. Dersma, big tackle applied. Could have been a little bit high, and I think it was. I was watching the wrong umpire. Certainly paid, and it was there for Brown. Copped a high tackle. Fires it inside 50. No target, though. Didn't find his target. Allows Butters to come away with it, and Port Adelaide attack.
Yeah, he winds right at the true centre-half back position. Gets it to Waymon on his left. He's got Dixon on a lead. He's got some space on Butts. He's got the space and a lot of size. He uses it all well. Now kicks deep inside 50. There's a couple of one-on-ones. It'll bounce right in the middle of them. Jake Kelly wins the football. Gets it to Murray, who now clears the danger area. It's Scholl that runs onto it on the wing. He gets it up towards Lynch, and the Crows momentarily out of danger. Might have liked to do a little bit better, Dixon, a moment ago. A couple of one-on-ones. Not able to kick it to the advantage of either of his forwards in that particular situation. Scholl now on his right. Goes right or left pretty well. Lockie Scholl gets it to Brodie Smith. We'll see what the Crows do here. This is where they fell down a lot last year. When the play slows down, what's the option ahead of the football? This time, it's going to be Frampton. Oh, he got 2 hands to it. It just didn't hold it long enough. Fights on the ground. Rowe gathers it first. Tries to get around Alear. He wraps him up. Now it comes to Mackesy, who's gone forward. Smith kicks in towards the forward 50 and Alear chops it off and did well.
Yeah, good intercept, Mark. You know, I watched Jimmy Rowe for that whole contest there. He ran to the exact right spot. He just knows what to do. I hope he gets his opportunity, because he could kick some goals for this Crows outfit. He ran to the exact right spot under Frampton and just didn't come away with the footy in the air. He did, but he got tackled, as Charlie Dixon's also in a tackle and the ball comes out of play. Centre wing here on the outer side of the Alberton Oval. Throw in. Gee, it's busy. A lot of players around this footy. So Lysett and O'Brien. This one falls a bit short for the players. They have to run after this one. Off hands the Crows a chance from centre wing. High kick. And Jones sits under it. Just didn't read it that well. Walker did, though. Well done, Tex Walker. Lost it in the tackle. It's a good tackle. And Burton will come away with the free kick. Ryan Burton had his leg issues last year. Kicks this one across half-back for Butters, and Butters will pick out Willem Drew.
Yeah, Willem Drew started in the middle. Now he kicks it further afield, looking to get to the advantage of Fantasia, who's beaten that time by Hamill, sporting a shorter haircut this year as Hamill. Gets it from Brodie Smith to Seedsman out in that wing. Here is Jimmy Rowe. He's starting to get busy, albeit he's having to come up the ground to get a few of his touches. Equal in the Ken Farmer medal last year. See, Jackson Haitley's just entered the contest as well for the Crows. I think I called him as Mackesy earlier, the GWS product. He's just come onto the ground and had a couple of early touches. There'll be a bounce down here. Jones with another tackle on that left-hand half-forward flank for the Crows. Lockie Jones. There's not too many times you see a bloke 18 years of age come in and just look like he's... He looks like he's played 50 games of AFL footy. Just the way he's built, the way he conducts himself, he just looks as solid as a rock. Free kick pulled out here. It's going to go to Frampton, who handballs it on quickly to Seedsman. He's a long kick of the football. This is accurate, and Cleary's on the line and just marks it centimetres inside. Saved a goal from Seedsman.
Pretty casual,
yeah,
wasn't it? But anyway, got the job done, and now picks out Georgiades at half-back, long way from goal, as he gets the handball away to Motlop. Goes short, Rosie. Rosie wants to get on with it and does. Goes to Amon. Port Adelaide chipping it around as they work their way up centre wing. Now called to play on. Very short, Byrne-Jones. Byrne-Jones, another short pass. Amon, who'll run and kick long, you would think this time. Well, in fact, it's smothered, and, geez, that caught the face of the player there.
He might have smothered that with his face, I think.
No, he's getting up. He's okay. That looked a little bit nasty.
I think it's Luke Brown.
Is it? Well, he's as tough as nails.
Yeah, but won't worry him.
That does hurt, though, when you get a ball in the face like that. In fact, I think he might go off.
Yeah.
If he hasn't got a blood nose, I'd be very surprised.
It looked flush.
So very accidental, and Carl Amon did flush it. He kicked it pretty hard, and, yeah, right into the face there of Luke Brown. So let's hope he's okay. I'd say he is bleeding from the nose.
Really cautious with the head knocks last week. The Crows, David McKay, looked like a fairly innocuous hit to the head. They took him off. He didn't come back on last week, hasn't played this week. They're not mucking around with that kind of thing at this kind of year. So we're interested to monitor Luke Brown to see whether he takes any further part in the game today. Just taking his time coming off the field. We are just under 7 minutes into this second term with Port leading 5-7-37. The Crows 4-1-25. 12 points the difference in this second quarter. Brown makes his way off. And we'll get back underway here. Left hand half-forward flank throw in for Port Adelaide. O'Brien and Lysett. O'Brien wins it. Did it well. Got it to Schomburg. On his right, up towards Walker in a one-on-one. Used the body. Legally, says the umpire. Contested mark for Walker. He's getting around over the ground all right at the moment, Tex. On his right. Who's he got in the pocket? It's Frampton. Oh, he just got... Hartlett came in underneath him and did just enough to spoil it. He's been option 1A in the forward 50, Billy Frampton.
He has.
Not sure I expected that today. He's presented up very well.
You'd say he's working his way into a round one spot, isn't he? We've already talked about the fact Himmelberg played in the early game today. So Frampton is Johnny on the spot at the moment as Walker works hard. Rockcliffe tackles him. So does Lysett. It takes three of them in there as Ollie Wines as well. I reckon he started pretty well, Tex. He's playing a handy game across half forward. Has done some useful things. Now he goes into the ruck, but Lysett just plucks it out of the air. Quick kick, touch play on, says the umpire. Riley Bonner a chance. Bergman's there for Port Adelaide as well. And the umpire says we'll throw it in. Jake Kelly appealing for on the full, I think. Has he stopped punching his own teammates, Jake Kelly? Or?
Oh, only when they do something stupid.
Got a bit carried away in the trial game last week.
Yeah, he did. Wayne Miller had a little bit of push and shove as well. Got the score back on the screen for people watching on the live stream, both via the Crows and the Power websites. Thanks to Balfours today. As you can see, it's a 12-point margin to Port. 9 minutes gone in the second term. Here's Lockie Scholl. On his right foot, up towards Walker and Frampton, who flew again, got two hands to it, unable to reel it in. Drew gets the clearance, but it's going to dribble out of bounds just inside forward 50 in front of Tom Lynch. Sounds silly to say it being a trial game. This is as good as I've seen Billy Frampton play in his Crows tenure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's been very prominent.
Ball gets thrown back into play. Lysett and Frampton doing the ruck work this time. It's Wines who just throws it on the boot. And Jake Kelly of Fists fame gets it on his left and kicks it up towards Walker. Fisted away from him by McKenzie. Wines' handball's chopped off by Keys and he's able to run into an open goal. Oh, Ollie, he'd like to have that moment back. And that's the Crows' fifth goal of the game. They 5-1-31, trailing Port 5-7-37.
Yeah, you don't see that too often from Ollie Wines. He's normally fairly certain, fairly sure with his hands. But at the same time, well done Keys. Read it beautifully. Great interception. And was only about 10 metres out from goal when he took it. So well played, Adelaide. 6 points the difference now. Port Adelaide here on their home deck at Alberton Oval. All thanks to Balfours. See, Big Lysette's gone off for a rest. He's on the bench, so Laddams goes into the ruck for Port Adelaide. They've got a few options in that department. Saw when the ball went forward, Marshall did some ruck work as well. So they've got tools at either end of the ground. So umpire to bounce the ball now. 5-7 Port Adelaide, 5-1 the Crows. And it's Laddams up against Riley O'Brien, who hasn't had much of a rest at all. He had a brief rest in that opening term.
Chase Jones standing next to Travis Boak here, Ditz. This is a good way for him to learn the craft of playing midfield, I think.
It is. So Laddams went early, but I think got the better of it. Hamble comes to Rockcliffe. Now Butters. Butters, little short pass, comes out to centre wing Bonner. Bonner chips over the top. Rosie on a lead. Wants to get on with it to Bonner, who's caught on his natural left side. Kicks it inside 50. Dixon got rid of his opponent a bit easily. Dixon now spears the pass to Bergman, who marks at half forward and will go back and take a shot for goal. So Port Adelaide's top draft pick last year hasn't had any real opportunities as yet. So will this be his year, 2021?
Pick 14. He was disappointing end of the draft. You expect a bit. Says a bit about the strength of the Port side that he hasn't been exposed at top level too much.
Bergman on his way in. He's just pushed it right, I reckon. He has minor score. Port Adelaide 5-8-38. Adelaide 5-1-31. All thanks to Balfours here at the Alberton Oval, and we've played just over 11 minutes of this second term.
Crows will bring it back into play. It's Seedsman on his right. Every single kick out of from a behind has been a long one from Adelaide. Frampton contested with Alear, who did well and won the footy. Now works it back towards Houston. He stabs a dangerous-looking kick up towards Travis Boak. Geez, he thought he did enough. I thought he did enough too. Yeah. Laird will get it and gets it to Sloane now. Crows maybe a little lucky there. What can they do with it, though? O'Brien handballs it out towards Laird. Has to be good with this kick, and it is. And it's James Rowe. It's 80 metres from goal, two kicks towards from goal, James Rowe. He'd probably want to be at the base of where this kick's ultimately going to fall, but he's the one doing the delivery here. It's Walker underneath it. He set himself, and in fact, it's Murphy, the other forward pocket, who did the crumbing, not able to affect any real benefit to the Crows, and it comes to that man, Bergman.
Bergman has a bounce, had time to turn and steady, finds Alear, centre wing. Nicely done. This will be a foot race now. Kicks it over the top and says, go and chase that one. Rosie's back there. Can he go all the way? He's just about to get run down. He goes onto his right boot and he's missed.
That's trial game Connor Rosie right there, I think. I think if that's round one, that's a goal.
Well, the debate will always rage. Should it be a drop punt? You kick it around the corner. We'll always ask the question.
I think he kicked about 3 goals last week from 2 metres out, so maybe he's just having to recalibrate for the distance.
So Port Adelaide 5-9-39, Adelaide a 5-1-31.
Throw in, Frampton worked up the wing there. He's a man playing with a lot to prove at the moment, covering a lot of territory, working in tandem with Taylor Walker for the Crows. As this one spins back into play, it's O'Brien and Laddams this time. Sloane gets the footy, comes to Haitley. Right foot kick up towards the two big, tall forward options for the Crows. Gets over the back. Houston beats Walker to the football, but Walker's frame means he got in with a second chance. Lockie Jones wins the ball and just crushes it forward. O'Brien sets himself underneath it. Dersma flew, just spoiled it momentarily. Came away from McPherson. Little toe poke from Marshall. And Port lead out in a foot race now. It is Fantasia, 80 metres from goal for Port Adelaide. Hands it pass back to Marshall, who looked inside momentarily, chose a second option. It's fisted away from Georgiades. Haitley with another touch. Now to O'Brien. Can the Crows settle it? Rowe and Houston contesting the footy up on centre wing. Houston gets the better of Rowe on that occasion. O'Brien and Keys. The umpire says holding the ball. Says Bonner didn't quite get a hand to it. Not a legal disposal.
Keys has played well, hasn't he? Very good in this opening half. And the short pass goes to Laird. Boak on the mark. Had to wait for the umpire with that new standing rule. And this kick, I think, has gone out on the full. It has. Just had too much on it for Frampton. And Alear to bring the ball back into play for Port Adelaide.
Happy to do the unfashionable stuff, Keys, as an AFL midfielder.
Hartlett finds something in the middle. Laddams, the ruckman, running hard. Butters did well. Runs around the big ruckman. Takes the footy, chips it short, and finds Georgiades. Some of the young stars for Port Adelaide getting involved. Short pass to the middle of the ground. Farrell, long left foot kick. In fact, just leant back on it in the end. Marshall out on a lead, got there on the bounce. Oh, paddles it beautifully, kept it alive. Well done for the big lad. Gives it to Rosie. Rosie, can he do something clever? Handballs off instead. Bergman a chance. Got tackled. Lost the ball. Now the Crows a chance deep in defence, and they'll come away with it from the back pocket.
Yeah, they did. Sloan was clean when he had to be. Kicks up towards Fogarty. It's fisted away from Fogarty by Lockie Jones. Looks every part the AFL halfback flanker at this point. And they'll clear. Elia's been good. Like we saw at Sydney so often, this has an ability to zone off and impact multiple contests defensively. He's been doing that a little bit today. Port have it through Bonner on this broadcast wing side at Alberton Oval, where there's a lot of space ahead of the football. 15 minutes into this second term. It's going to be Bonner who bombs it up towards a dangerous position. O'Brien sets himself. Marshall flew, got hands to it, couldn't quite bring it in. A little dribbling kick out towards the safety, the boundary line, and Haitley will see it out. We'll get a throw in. Just where the 50 meets the boundary at 50 metres from that Port Adelaide goal. 8 points the margin, Port's favour. Halfway point of this second term.
Throw in right on the 50 for Port Adelaide. Gee, it's crowded across that half-forward line. There's been a lot of short passing in this second term, a lot of chipping around. It's been very tight after a real attacking opening term. Laird gets a quick handball to Sloan, and Sloaney, gee, that's not your best kick. From a standing start, didn't really put anything into it, and it dribbled off the side of his boot. Port Adelaide through Hartlett, another short pass. So they're not bombing long here, Port Adelaide, not going to the goal square at all. They're chipping it around. Rockcliffe, not known for his long kicking either.
No.
So what will he chips one towards half forward. Not one Port Adelaide player read it. It was all the Crows. So Mackesy takes an easy mark across half-back. Short passes on towards the pocket, and he picks out Seedsman. In and out of the side a little bit last year, Seedsman. He'll want to really cement his place early this time round. Seedsman goes long from half-back. Kicks it towards a big pack of players. Walker off hands has been pretty handy this time, though. He runs out of room.
Oh, hold the ball.
Was it? Okay.
He turned back into trouble, Walker. He actually had some space ahead of him, but expected that's where his Port opponent would be. And he got caught, done holding the ball. This kick from Laddams inside 50. He's going to get chopped off again. A couple of nice moments here for Fisher Mackesy. Former number 6 pick, 2019. Or in fact, it might be Haitley again. Geez, like the similar haircut's getting me. It's Butters and Hartlett now. Murphy chased from behind and wins a free kick. Terrific work, Lockie Murphy. That's what keeps him in the side. Lockie Murphy with a free kick. Just the one goal this quarter after we had 9 in the first. And that one came through Ollie Wines handballing it to Ben Keys into the open goal. So very different looking sort of a game. Here's Mackesy this time. He did take a nice intercept mark a moment ago. Oh, that puts a little bit of pressure on Kelly, but they'll get out of it through Scholl on his right foot. Kicks up towards Schonberg, just attacked the footy well. He dropped it, but he had time. In fact, it's McHenry who has it and gets it to Lynch at the second effort. Lynch now on his right. What's he got ahead? Walker's screaming for the football. I think he'll go over his head towards O'Brien and Fogarty, who takes a terrific contested mark. Arms extended, attacking the football. Darcy Fogarty, that's a promising sign from the young man, who suddenly has a bit of competition for his spot. He needs to show a bit this year. Last year, the Fog, 8 goals in 10 games. This is the part of his game there aren't particularly large question marks about. It's a magnificent kick of the football. So when he comes, he'll kick from about 40 metres on a 45-degree angle. No real wind to speak of. And on his right foot, makes solid contact. All the umpire's having to do a bit. And he's pushed it just across the face, the one behind. So it'll be the Crows 5-2, 32, 7 points behind. Port Adelaide 5-9, 39, 18 minutes gone. 19 minutes gone, in fact, in this second term.
So Ryan Burton takes it out to the grandstand side of Alberton Oval and does not find a target this time. Now, because he played on, yeah, that will be thrown in. So a bit untidy this time from Port Adelaide. They haven't actually been that good going forward in this second quarter, as opposed to the opening term where they're very clean. Frampton into the ruck, soccers it from mid-air. Gives the on-ballers a chance. Kelly picks it up, caught on that left side. Houston sits under it with courage, and the umpires picked out a free kick. It'll go to Houston. Didn't really see what it was for. Thought they were both just going for the footy, but anyway, Houston comes away with it. Little indecisive, eventually gets it onto the boot. Looks for big Charlie Dixon. No mark taken. Ball over the back. Ollie Wines, missed the target in Boak. Boak allows Keys to come through. Crows running through the middle. Ooh. Oh, gee, running into a wall of players. Schomburg, but he's done well. Gets out of trouble, although he doesn't. The kick not great in the end. Motlop, who had a wonderful opening term. Off the side of the boot, but it'll come off. It'll be fortunate for Butters. Butters now ran into trouble, but got the handball away. The running ruckman in Lysette goes to the goal square. Gee, there's a bit of body work going on there. And picking it up, Fantasia. He kicks his first goal. And, gee, I don't know about him, the way he got rid of his opponent there. But anyway, the umpire said fair and square. Good body work in the end, Orazio Fantasia. He kicks his first goal. Port Adelaide to 6-9-45. Adelaide 5-2-32. We've played 20 minutes of the second term here at Alberton Oval, all thanks to Balfours.
Worked out all right for Motlop in the end, but he elected to bump when he perhaps should have tried to tackle Schomburg. But in the end, ended up right in the right position when Port affected the turnover. And then Fisher Mackesy, a little bit unlucky, going back with the flight, showed a bit of courage. Wasn't able to win the football, though, and it's set up nicely for Port's sixth goal of the afternoon, 13 points to the margin, as you say, Ditz.
Gee, after every goal, the number of interchanges is quite extraordinary. I know everyone wants to get a run, but I reckon the hardest part today is running off the ground. Well, it's hot.
You wonder to what extent, too, did we see really nice flowing football in that first quarter because of the continuity? Because, you know, there was the starting 18s both probably had 10 minutes to play, and now it's just chops and changes with so many guys so often in the heat that we're experiencing today.
Bounce down in the middle. Lysette, Frampton got up high, gets it down to Keys. Been a very good player in this opening half at Alberton. Kicks it out wide, and good mark taken.
McHenry, I think.
McHenry did well. Played in front, took a very good chest mark.
He did. He's coming into the game a little bit in this quarter, Ned McHenry. Fumbled one and made it look good a moment ago. That time, no fumble at all. This time, kicks it up towards the square. Fogarty flew hard again, front and centre. Promising sign, not able to take it. Aaliyah again. Just clears beautifully from defence. Up towards Motlop, made to earn it from Luke Brown. Here's Scholl and Smith. He's got two options in the pocket, and he's picked out Jimmy Rowe, who is 35 metres out, tough angle. But we'll see what he can do here. He's a very clever player, is James Rowe. 82 goals in 34 games over the last 2 years in the Sandville, so he knows how to kick them. And he would have kicked a few air dits in his time.
Yes, he certainly would have.
At Alberton Oval.
There was that one final he played the end of the season there, and he just tore the game apart. Kicked 4 in a row, I think it was, in the second half, and absolutely blew the game apart.
He's blessed with that natural goal sneaking ability. And here, what can he do here on his right? He's hung it out to the right a bit. He wants it to come back. He ran with where he wanted the football to go, and it didn't quite come back enough for him. It's his first score of the day. The Crows go to 5-3, 33, 6-9, 45, Port Adelaide. 12 points the difference, all thanks to Balfours on the Crows and Power websites.
Port Adelaide through Ryan Burton. Goes long. Gets it almost to the middle of the ground and unopposed. Mark taken by Kelly. No one went with him. Kelly to send the ball back inside 50. Big pack of players, and Port Adelaide, is it a Cleary mark? No, I think he's dropped it on the way down. The umpires paid it. So strong mark, Cleary. Did well. And his own teammate gets up a little sore in McKenzie. Short pass to Motlop. Motlop at halfback. Wants to go long and does. Marshall. Oh, gee, Sloan sat right underneath that one. Could have been nasty, but no damage done. Handball drew, although there's a Port player down as Amon runs through half forward. This is a nice pass. Beautiful pass. And the player down.
I think it's Marshall, Ditz. I think.
Is it?
I think he ended up the worst somehow in a contest where it looked like Sloan was putting himself in a place that you don't really need to in a trial game.
Yeah.
I hope he's all right. Looks like a hit to the head. I'll watch Marshall while Fantasia lines up for his first of the day.
Now, that passage of play there, different to what we've seen for this entire term. Go long, go strong, and to a one-on-one. Kicked it to the advantage side for Fantasia to run onto, and that's good footy. So Fantasia kicked a goal moments ago for Port Adelaide as Marshall gets to his feet slowly in the middle of the ground. Fantasia taking plenty of time over this one, and he gets his second goal. Good play, Port Adelaide, that time. They opened it up, left the forward line very wide open, and Port Adelaide now go to 7-9-51. Lead Adelaide 5-3-33, thanks to Balfours here at the Alberton Oval. 24 minutes gone in the second term.
I think Marshall will be all right. He's holding his head. He got hit in the head. The trainers went to him. He took a long time getting up. He was down in his haunches catching his breath. But it doesn't look as though there's a limp, there's any hint of a soft tissue issue. It does look like it was a whack to the face, and he's just being taken off for precautionary checkup. In fact, he's beginning to jog off now. So I imagine he'll be all right. He just made to wear one. was Todd Marshall in that scenario. In fact, I think he probably paid the price for playing nice there. He really could have cleaned up Rory Sloane. And ended up wearing one himself. Anyway, Port Adelaide picked the goal through Fantasia. Fascinated to see how he fits into the Port side over the course of this year. Real potential to add some class in the forward line that's already blessed, frankly, with plenty of guys who can pick the ball up on the deck and kick a goal. But he's proven himself. If his body can stay right, like him as a footballer. We're bouncing it down 25 minutes into this second term. Schonberg over on the football. Rockcliffe gets it. Always good hands in tight. Gets it to Wines. Now Amon's got space in front of him. He might go all the way here. Amon gets to 50 on his left. Loads up. And just like a golf swing, he just sliced it a little bit and it's gone out in the full. His eyes lit up. The path just opened for him, really. No one leading up at the football. Everyone led back towards goal. So at that first bounce, he suddenly had acres ahead. O'Brien and Lysett will contest. Aliir came in late. O'Brien did really well. Took a terrific mark there. The outlet kick option, as he so often is. So much asked of big Riley O'Brien. He'll ruck all day today and ruck largely all year by himself. He wants Darcy Fogarty to make space for him this time. It drops short, and that's easy for Ryan Burton to fist away out of bounds. We'll get it thrown in. Centre wing deep into this second term with Port Adelaide leading by 3 straight kicks, 18 points.
So Lysett back into the ruck for Port Adelaide with Riley O'Brien, who has not had a spell in this second term. He's a fit big fella, he really is, because these are warm conditions for a game of footy. Throw in now. And did he give away a free? I think he might have. Just caught Lysett around the neck. And Lysett wants to give off. No. And it's a 50-metre penalty. And Lysett really looked at the umpire and said, he just moved.
Yep.
He sort of, it was like a kid dobbing you in at school, really. But that's the rule. I don't like it myself, Will. But we're going to have to put up with this throughout the year. To me, Riley O'Brien's done nothing wrong there. He moved sideways slightly. Play on hadn't been called. To be fair, Lysett was shaping to handball. He was going to play on. Yeah. And that is the new rule. Unbelievable.
I'm not sure the half step Riley O'Brien took to his right either is a sort of scourge that we needed to remove from football. I don't know about you.
I don't think.
But that is the rule, and Lysett knew it.
Gee.
We'll see a bit of that from clever footballers this year who will bait the guy on the mark, certainly early on.
So it's ended up with Connor Rosie having a shot at goal on his way in, and he's kicked truly. Good kick from Connor Rosie. Beautiful kick. And Port Adelaide get their 8th. They go to 8 goals, 9, 57. Adelaide 5-3, 33. Let's hope it doesn't come in and ruin a game of football this year. How would you be losing a game on one of those?
Yeah, it's going to happen on the strength of what we've seen, and it looks particularly odd where you see guys now stick to the strict interpretation as someone plays on, and they look like a statue. It's just so foreign to what we've been accustomed to seeing.
And I think if you really looked at the umpire there, I think he was almost apologetic.
Yeah,
he sort of said, Riley, sorry mate, but that's
I don't make the rules.
I've got to do this.
Take it up with AFL House. I think he said to Riley O'Brien.
Ring Steve Hocking.
Yeah,
here's his number.
So a couple of those in the earlier trial game as well went against Port. So they were due to get one that way. Yeah, I suspect that's the talking point for sports shows over the course of the first month of the football season, as fans get to see it more and more for the first time. All right, we're back in the middle now. Lysett and O'Brien. Looks like largely first choice midfields in at the moment. Butters feigned a handball to Rockcliffe, comes to Boak, Sloane on his 6, Byrne-Jones and now Burton. Geez, they move that so cleanly. They've got numbers now out in the wing and they can move it quickly again. Butters, his second touch in this passage, not his best, but it's going to work out all right. Little dribbler, fend off from Boak on Laird. What does the umpire say? Says it's a throw, and the free kick will go. So the runner-up in the Malcolm Blight medal last year, Rory Laird. They're just a little bit more crisp at the moment, Port moving the ball forward. Work rate's good too. Butters getting a couple of touches in that last passage. Just able to manipulate the overlap and the outnumber a little bit as this quarter drags on and this first half drags on. Here's Billy Frampton, fisted away from him by Cleary. Rowe front and square, had the crumb. Butters again. This time gets it to Bonner on his left. Kicks up in the Dixon direction. Strong and takes the mark. Just squared himself to the football and has it. Now inside 50. His kick overshoots his intended target. Mackesy has it at the back. Now the Crows have a chance to run away through Haitley. He goes backwards, retreats with a handball. Not a great one. Puts Seedsman under all sorts of pressure. Byrne-Jones wraps him up. Didn't miss an opportunity there. Byrne-Jones, the umpire says it'll be mine. We'll get a bounce down deep in this second quarter, about 35 metres out from Port's goal.
Yes, 29 minutes in. Boys will be keen for a rest. Quite warm here at Alberton today. The ball up. 35 out from Port Adelaide's goal off hands. Boak read it beautifully, got rid of an opponent, threw it on the boot. It wobbles, and it's through. Good goal. Travis Boak. So Port Adelaide have just kicked away in the latter part of this second term. Port Adelaide now go to 9-9-63. Lead by 30 points all of a sudden. Adelaide 5-3-33. And Port Adelaide have been so much better when they've gone longer and stronger into that forward 50. That one was a real opportunist goal, but in the latter half of this second term, probably overusing the ball. And they say will every year in trial games. Teams do that. Doesn't matter what level you play at. Everyone just wants to get the ball and have a touch, and they tend to overdo it. But there it is. It's half-time here at the Alberton Oval. We'll take a 10-minute break and be back with the second half. Port Adelaide 9-9-63. The Crows 5-5-33. Thanks to Balfours.